Aloha, I'm Sabrina with Begin Being, and I was recently asked by the Association for Integrative Psychology to write an article on meditation. Now, anyone who has been watching my channel for a bit, you guys know that I absolutely love meditation and very passionate about it. It was one of my earliest videos was a meditation video. I have a whole playlist on meditation. Some of my extra bonus videos are meditation videos. And with Empowerment Inc., the company I work for, I lead our whole team in group meditations, lead my clients in meditation, so super passionate about it. And as you can imagine, when they asked me to write the article, I was very excited. So excited that the article, at max, is supposed to be around 700 words. I might have sort of over doubled that. So what I decided to do is make a video about it. Also because I figured that, there's so much to meditation. There's so many different types of meditation. And I figured this would be good information just to have out there for anyone, whether you're a brand new meditator or whether you're an experienced meditator and you're looking for maybe different types of meditations to do, or maybe looking to take your meditation to the next level. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the different types of meditation, the benefits of meditation, how to get set up and ready to go for meditation. So this is kind of like a meditation tutorial in a box. And along with this as well, so for me right now, filming this video, it's January 2024. And some of the things that I've been thinking about is New Year's resolutions, because everyone's like, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? What did you do? What are your goals for 2024? And I've actually already filmed last week. I filmed some videos that'll be coming out later this month on this very topic. And so thinking about the article and thinking about the time of year that it is, I started really thinking about different types of New Year's resolutions. So, and one of the things about people who are into personal growth and development, we tend to set really big goals, really big New Year's resolutions, which is awesome and amazing, and we totally should set these big resolutions. And one of the things I got to thinking about is, well, what about the small things? So for example, daily or the big New Year's resolutions, some people might say oh, I want a new job, right? But if they want a new job, they maybe have to update their resume. Maybe they need to go get some new skills. They got to go to interviews, fill out applications, go to interviews, do all of these things. And it's okay, this is my goal for 2024. And it's more of a long-term goal that's very involved. Or a new relationship, for example. Maybe you got to get out more. Maybe you have to set up all those billions of questions on a dating app. Then you got to go on dates. So again, they're bigger things to get to your bigger goal. Maybe you want to lose weight or start just eating healthier. Awesome. Okay, well now maybe you have to get a personal trainer or just research what kind of exercises you need to do to get the gains that you want or lose the weight that you want. Or maybe you have to do a bunch of research on, cool, what is high fructose corn syrup? Why is it bad for me? What does that mean? What is this stuff that I've been putting in my body? What do I really need to put in my body? And then you have to actually change your eating habits. So those are bigger resolutions. But again, what about the small things? So I have a video coming out that's going to be about how to increase your happiness in 2024 and decrease depression. And then just thinking about, okay, well, what are the daily things that I can do? What are the small things I can do to make 2024 more awesome for myself and really be the person I want to be in 2024? And to me, one of those daily things that you can do is meditation. It's so easy. It can take just 10 minutes of your time. You don't need any experience. You don't need any equipment. You can do it today, right after watching this video, you can jump right in, no experience necessary. So to me, meditations is one of the most important things you can do on your journey to becoming the best you possible. Now, one of the things that I do is I'm a trainer of Neurolinguistic programming and Huna. So NLP is like a personal growth and development type trainings, like how to communicate better, how like with yourself and others, just basically like how to be the best possible you. And Huna is like it's similar to Reiki if you've ever taken Reiki or you experienced Reiki, but it's basically the Hawaiian's version of energy work, energy healing, all of that good stuff. And I'm on the road a lot. So one of the amazing things about meditation too is that you can do it anywhere. Like I said, you don't need any special equipment or anything like that. You can literally do it anywhere. I'll give you some advice on some equipment, and again, you don't need it. Now, one of the things that I teach my students and my clients is about the 4 bodies. So we all have like 4 bodies. So we have like our physical body, we have our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body. And just like our physical body needs the best food possible, we also need good food for all of our other bodies as well. And meditation is one of the things that fills all 4 of your bodies. And they've done a lot of research on meditation and the benefits of meditation. I talk about some studies in another meditation video that I've already made. I'll put the link in the description below. That way you can really dig into the research on it. But just really briefly, I'm going to go over some different benefits for your 4 bodies. So for your physical body, for example, you're going to get stuff like strengthened immune system, like better sleep, and then reductions in like chronic pain, hypertension, and reduced cardiovascular disease. And emotional benefits include stuff like higher EQ, heightened empathy, improved cooperativeness, if I can say that word, improved cooperativeness, reductions in anxiety, stress levels, and depression. So lots of amazing benefits for your emotional body as well. And then with the mental body, there are a ton of improvements for the brain. Stuff like slowing brain aging. If you have or been diagnosed with ADHD, it's really good for improving attention. It's also good for improving innovation, like your creativity levels and all of that good stuff with your brain. It also helps with reductions in stuff like job burnout and panic attacks. And the spiritual benefits, you have like a more of a connectedness, like a oneness to your surroundings. A lot of times you'll get like messages from your source, like you'll be able to quiet your mind, and maybe you're thinking about something like a question you might have or something that you're wanting to maybe a problem you're trying to solve, and you can actually quiet your mind and then be able to hear messages from whatever you consider to be your source, from the collective, and again, feel more of that connectedness. And so it reduces that feeling of loneliness, the feeling of being disconnected from everything. And it's interesting because the society we live in some ways, we're so connected all the time. Like we're on all the social media, we have instant text messaging and all of these different things. And sometimes we just feel so lonely. And meditation is actually something that has been proven to help with that feeling. And it also teaches you to be more in the present moment. So there's a lot of spiritual teachers who talk about, be in the present moment. And sometimes you have a question of like, okay, great, well, how? Meditation actually helps you with that. It helps you to be more in the now and be more present. Now again, meditation is one of the smaller things that you can do on a daily basis. And let's get back to the larger New Year's resolutions that you've made. So imagine you're trying to get that new workout routine in. One of the reported hardest things is starting to get up in the morning and be able to get out of bed and go to that new exercise routine. Well, imagine meditating before bed. That way you're getting that improved sleep. And so you wake up energized and ready to go. Or imagine, you're in the dating process and maybe you're going on some first dates and stuff like that. Well, imagine meditating and having that, developing that higher empathy, developing that like better able to communicate with your emotions. Imagine how much more attractive you'll be when you're able to sit across from that person and have more of an emotional intelligence. Or imagine going into that job interview, being able to pay better attention to their questions and being able to be more innovative with your answers. Or imagine maybe you're wanting to go into like a business on your own. Maybe you're wanting to be an entrepreneur. So imagine it being able to like be more creative, or being able to hear that message from source guiding you on the direction that you need to go. All of this can happen when you take just 10 minutes of your day for yourself. Just 10 minutes, that's all it takes. Now let's get into the different ways to meditate. So overall, like there's bunches and bunches of ways to meditate, but overall there's two main categories of meditation. So two main ways to meditate. One is with seed, and the second one is without seed. Now let's talk about without seed first, because this one, a lot of us actually do naturally. So for example, if you've ever been like, maybe you're watching a sunset and over the ocean or something. So you're just watching the sunset and you're just kind of sitting there and you're zoning out, and all of a sudden you realize you are really not thinking about anything else. You're just completely present and in the moment and experiencing that sunset. You were probably actually doing a meditation, like you were in a meditative state. You were in that without seed meditative state. And basically just what that means is you don't have something you're focusing on. So with seed, you're like focusing on something. Without seed, you're just present and in the moment. So those of you who maybe like you do nature walks, you might be in the middle of a nature walk and all of a sudden you're just looking around and you're experiencing all of the beauty around you and you're not thinking about anything. Your brainwave patterns actually go into a state of meditation. So for new beginners, without seed, sometimes it's a little bit easier if maybe you're someone who's used to being out in nature, connecting and taking those like nature walks and stuff, maybe gardening. This could actually be easier for you. For others who are new and like they constantly have thoughts coming in when they're trying to meditate, this one might be harder for you. For advanced meditators, if you're used to doing with seed, which I'll explain more in a moment, I challenge you to start doing some meditations without seed. And really easy to do these type of meditations. You mostly just need to be like in an environment where there's no distractions and you can be able to easily like just relax and go into a meditative state without really like focusing on anything. Now the other one is with seed. So with seed is giving you something to focus on, which is sometimes why it can be easier for new beginners or for new meditators, because they can sometimes find like their mind wandering off. They find all of these different thoughts coming in. So having something to focus your attention on allows the thoughts to kind of like, if they do come in, to be able to just kind of, you're able to like not necessarily push them away, but just kind of like let them float away. Now, I'm going to go over some different types of meditation when you're trying to do it with seed, when you have something to focus on. That way you guys can kind of get a sense of, ooh, what should I choose? Like what's going to work best for me? So I'm going to go over the different ones, and there's many others than what I'm going to mention here, but I'm going to go over some basic ones. So when thinking about ways to meditate with seed, so having something to focus on, one of them is with counting. So one of the most common things to do is to count your breaths. One of the ways to do that is to count like a 1 on the in breath and then a 2 on the out breath. So you're breathing in and counting 1, and you're breathing out and counting 2. And when I say counting, it's normally just done in your head. So in your head, you're just thinking 1 as you breathe in, and you're thinking 2 as you breathe out. 1 as you breathe in, 2 as you breathe out, and so on. And do this for a minimum of 10 minutes. Some people, instead of doing it like that, they'll go through a whole breath cycle. So it'll be breathe in, breathe out, that's 1, breathe in, breathe out, that's 2, and so on until they get to a count of 10. And when they get to a count of 10, they'll start over. Breathe in, breathe out, that's 1, and so on until 10. Now, sometimes what'll happen is you'll go bye-bye, and all of a sudden you'll be on, 5, 6, 7, you don't know where you are. So what can happen is sometimes if you go too far out, you're no longer focused in on the meditation, you lose your count. That's perfectly fine and natural. It happens, especially in the beginning. What you do is you just start back over at 1. So if you find yourself in the middle of your meditation, you're doing your breathing, you're breathing out, and you're like, I don't know what number I'm on, go ahead and go back to 1, and then finish your cycle of 10 and repeat. Again, do this for 10 minutes. Some people, instead of a count of 10, they'll use a count of 5. Same thing, just a count of 5, whatever seems to work best for you. So those are the different ways you can do it with breath. Another way to count is with beads. So some people will have long strings of beads. There's different kinds that you can get. Some of them will just be like, maybe say round beads, but one of the round beads will be like bigger than the other. And then that way you know when you've got to the end. This particular one has a tassel. So you start on one side and you just count all the way around, and then you feel, because all the times people want to have their eyes closed, so they don't want to be like looking at anything. And so you feel whenever you get to the end, and that's how you know when you're done. Again, you want to do it for at least 10 minutes. So if you're doing this and counting and you get to the end, you're going to want to keep going so that you do it for a minimum of 10 minutes. You don't have to stop at the end of 10 if you're not all the way through your cycle and you want to continue. You can just keep going and not necessarily stop at the 10-minute mark. But again, to get all the benefits that I was talking about earlier, most studies are showing it needs to be at least 10 minutes. And with that said, I would rather you meditate some than not at all. So even if you need to start out with 5 minutes just to kind of like get into it, awesome. Go ahead and take that 5 minutes and work your way up to the 10. Now, a second way to keep your mind from wandering and stay focused is to use a mantra. So most of the time people have heard of the Om, like the Om mantra. So that's another thing that you can do is say that, or any of the other, like there's a ton of different mantras. You can do some research on the different meanings of the mantra depending on like what type of intention or what type of energy you're wanting to bring into your meditation. So some people like hearing and producing that sound really helps them to be able to stay focused. Those are people who tend to be a little bit more audio. So if you tend to be more like whenever you're communicating or whenever you're learning information, if you tend to learn better listening to something, then the Om mantra type of meditation could work better for you. And again, there's a ton of different ones. You can actually listen to a whole video on just the mantra like played over and over again. I actually really I do the Om one. That's the one I prefer the most, and I just love the sound of it. I love how it sounds. So not that I do only the Om meditation, I'm just saying of the mantras, that's my favorite one. Again, you look up some different ones for that. A third thing that some people will focus on is their breath. So this doesn't involve counting, it's simply using your breath as a focal point. So there's a particular way you can breathe that's called cyclic sighing, and it's a particular way of breathing in and breathing out that studies have shown that long-term really helps with the reduction of stress. So it's not just reducing stress like in in the moment while you're meditating, it actually continues to reduce stress 24 hours later. It's one of the things that have been found to reduce stress the most versus like just meditation alone or even other breathwork practices. So I do have a video where I teach you cyclical breathing, so I'll put it in the link below. But it's basically like focusing, or different types of meditation will have you focusing just purely on your breath. So there's breath work that you can also involve in your meditation practice as well. And a fourth way to meditate with seed is like to focus on an object. This is often done with a candle flame. So you'll like light a candle flame. Usually you want it to be like about eye level or so if you can. And you basically just focus all of your attention on that candle flame. And as you sit there and focus on it, what you'll tend to find is your peripheral kind of starts to decrease to where like sometimes all you can see is the flame. So in that particular meditation, you're just staring. It's an open eye meditation, obviously, whereas the other ones are usually closed eyes. Unless you're meditating with seed or without seed. If you're like, for example, staring at a sunset, stuff like that, obviously you're going to have your eyes open. All of the rest of them that I've been going over are usually eyes closed. And so for this one, when you're staring at the candle flame, you're gonna have your eyes open. And like I said, all of your focus, all of your attention, all of your concentration is on the flame. And if some other thoughts are coming in, I'll go over that a little bit more in details in a little bit more. But if you're having thoughts that are coming in, you just kind of want to like let them just float away. Just acknowledge them like, oh, hey, okay, I'm gonna talk to you later, and let's just let them float away. So you're only focused on the candle. Another way to do the candle flame meditation is to bring in breath work and your energy as well. So for this one, what you're going to want to do is you light the candle flame and you're staring at it, and on your in-breath, you're bringing your focus and your energy inside of you. So it's like you're creating separation between yourself and the candle. So you bring that energy on the inside. And this helps you really be more comfortable with who you are on the inside and be more comfortable being yourself. Be more comfortable like being okay in your own skin. So what you're doing with this one is you're just bringing your energy and your focus like into your heart center, and you're just kind of noticing the separation between you and the candle. And again, this is done on the in-breath. On the out breath, that's when you want to expand your energy. So now you're bringing your energy that's on the inside towards the candle flame. And this allows you to have more of like a connection with others, more of a connection with your source, like the universe. And with this one, on the out breath, when you're expanding your energy out, your vision is like going into your peripheral. For those of you who have taken trainings with me and know the word, this is hakalau. So this is going into hakalau, but it's basically where you're like focused on the candle flame, and at the same time you can see everything like out here around you, so you can still see everything out. So with this one, on your out breath, you're pushing, like you're focusing on your energy going toward the candle flame and having that like connected feeling. And then on the in breath, you're bringing all of the energy into yourself, noticing the separation between you and the candle, helping you again to have more of that individuality, having more of that secure sense in yourself, and then expanding it out to have that sense of connectedness. So you're doing that, in breath, out breath for 10 minutes, staring at the candle flame. A fifth way is to meditate on the light. And this is not to be confused with like a light. You're not meditating on a light, you're meditating with the light, which is the light that is like within you and all around you. So it's basically a meditation that teaches you, it's a closed eye meditation, and it teaches you to connect with the light. And I actually have a whole video explaining this and guiding you through this particular meditation. And again, it's called the Hiolani meditation. It's something we teach our students at our NLP practitioner trainings and our Huna trainings. So if you've come to one of those, you know all about that. But it's basically focusing on the light. within you and, like I said, all around you. And there's different ways to like bring the light within you. All right, so those are different ways to meditate. Again, there's a ton more, and just going over some basic ways to meditate to either get you started, or if you've already been meditating, to maybe try out a different one and see how that works for you. And maybe keep your meditation practice fresh. You know, if you've been doing one for a while, maybe switch it up a little bit. And when you're first starting out, I definitely recommend to like try different ones until you find the one that you're like, ooh, this feels good. This is the one that I'm going to stick with. So now we're going to get into your setup. So again, nothing is technically needed. These are just some suggestions to help you get started. You can take this as far as you want to take it or not. You can be as simple as you know possible, however you want to do it. And here are some suggestions for success to be able to like make this a practice and not just something you tried that one time. Okay, so number one is going to be your space. So how your space is set up. Just like you have a bed for sleeping on, or a table for eating, a couch for like relaxing, you have these different spaces for these different purposes. So I highly recommend that you create a meditation space. For now, it could be like a specific corner of your couch, or maybe like normally you sleep on one side of the bed, and to meditate, you like meditate on the other side of the bed. Even if it's like a small bed, you can just, you know, maybe your head's over here, so maybe you meditate like where your feet is. And it's just something to kind of create a space for you, again, to be like this dedicated area, and it helps you be able to stick with it. Like I said, just like, you know, you go to eat at your table or you go to sleep on your bed. So kind of creating that space for you. Now within that space, you can have different things that like the things that you like if you want to. For example, you could have like crystals or incense. I have a sound bowl. I have my ipu heke, which is a drum that we use in Huna and use at hula as well. So ancient Hawaiians would drum with a drum called the ipu heke. So I have that in my like meditation space. So you can have whatever like works for you in that space. The second thing is your body. So you want to be in a comfortable position, because like if you start meditating for 10 minutes and you're like achy afterwards, or you're 5 minutes in and you're like, oh, I am so uncomfortable, you're possibly not going to want to do it again. So again, you want to be comfortable in your space. You can lie down. If you do though, you want to make sure you're not falling asleep. So if you try to meditate lying down and you keep falling asleep, that's not going to work for you. Make sure and do a position where you can sit up. And sitting up can be in a comfortable chair, like a recliner. And again, you just kind of want to make sure that you're not going to fall asleep in the recliner. And there's other like tons of comfortable chairs that you can get. You can meditate just simply sitting on the floor. If you're sitting on the floor with your legs crossed, or like in lotus or half lotus, you want to make sure you're kind of creating like a triangle support system with your bottom and your legs. And to do that, you just want to have a pillow underneath your bottom. Official meditation pillows I talk about in the main like meditation video that I've made, and they're called a zafu and a zabuton. I'll post the names in the description below. You can go out and purchase those, or you can just Google it, because you might have a pillow just already lying around your house that you can put under your bottom to give you that extra support. That really helps support like your lower back and your posture whenever you're meditating. So if you're just sitting straight on your tailbone, that can be very uncomfortable. So you just want a little cushion underneath you to support your back. Number 3 is your practice. So you want to have a time of day set up, or if you can't do it every day, or maybe you're starting out and you just want to do it slowly, so maybe you want to do it like once or twice or 3 times a week, then you want to pick the days that you're going to do it on. You want to have all of this set up ahead of time. That way it's just kind of automatic. Oh, it's Monday at 9 a.m. I'm going to go meditate right now. And that way, you know, you can plan around it. So maybe if you have work or something and you have meetings, you can make sure not schedule a meeting during that time period. Maybe you like take your kids to school, so maybe you want to meditate like while they're getting ready. If they're older kids or if they're younger kids, maybe you want to drop them off, get them, you know, from moving around and wanting attention and stuff like that. And then now you have your quiet space. So maybe like after dropping off your kids. Same thing with like a partner. Maybe you want to meditate with the partner and coordinate that. Basically, you want to set up a specific time and day that you're going to meditate. That way it just becomes automatic. So when you're going into that space, you're like, oh, this is my meditation time. You've set that time aside, you go and you do it, and you do it over and over, the same time of day, the same day of the week. And that way it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it just becomes a part of your routine. And you're no longer even thinking about it. It just becomes a part of who you are. Number 4 is your time. So remember, it's remembering to take time for you. We often get so busy in our lives. Some of us might be, you know, executives. Some of us are parents. Some of us are, we have all of these different things. We have our own business. But we have multiple businesses that we're doing. And we get so busy that we think, okay, I don't have time to meditate right now. I gotta go. Well, researchers actually found that you're more productive if you have a mindfulness or meditation practice. So taking that time, actually, even though it's like, oh, you feel like, oh, I don't know if I have that 10 minutes right now. I don't know if I have that 10 minutes today. I've got to go and get all these, like this huge list of things done. Research shows and has proven that you're going to be more productive and get more things done if you do take that time. So just go ahead and take that time for yourself to be in your meditation practice. And number 5, it kind of goes along with this. It's your dedication. It's your dedication to you. It's your dedication to your practice. So I highly recommend like maybe save this video and, you know, maybe re-watch it to be able to get the different techniques in, to be able to make sure you have all of your stuff ready to go. And, or maybe just like take notes, like write down some of the different things. But basically what you want to do is you want to make sure you're dedicated to yourself. You want to make sure you're dedicated to your practice, because if you're not, if you're just kind of like halfway doing it, then you're not going to get all those benefits that I was talking about before. And if you're trying to get those big goals in 2024, that new job, that new relationship, you know, your new being healthier, if you're trying to go for like big goals, you absolutely have to take that time for yourself. All right, now that we've discussed your setup, let's discuss your preparation. So there's 4 different things you can kind of do to get prepared to meditate. Number 1 is to choose the meditation. So again, before it gets to 9 a.m. when you're supposed to meditate on that Monday, go ahead and have all of these things prepared. That way when you go into your meditation, you're ready to go right into it, right into those 10 minutes. So number 1 again is choose your type of meditation. So you can rewatch the beginning of the video when I'm talking about the different choices. I also have like guided meditations that you can go and choose in my meditation playlist, so you can look at the different ones there. Maybe like listen to it again ahead of time before 9 a.m. Not the entire meditation, but just kind of like listen to the first part of it, the explanation of it, and think, okay, this is one that I might want to try. And then when it comes to 9 a.m., you go right into the meditation part of it versus learning like how to do it. So that's kind of like being prepared to meditate. Number 2 is set your intention. You can have a general intention, like I, want to get better at meditation. I want to implement meditation to my practice. So you can have a more like broad, general intention, but you want to be intentional with your meditation and set that intention of what you're wanting to get out of it. Maybe you're wanting to have less stress. Maybe if you're like trying to get into a new relationship, you want to say something like, my intention for this meditation is to increase my emotional intelligence. So you want to have a specific meditation or intention for your meditation. And again, it can be more general, like a reduction in stress, more happiness, that kind of thing, or getting better at it, or more specific, like I want to work on my cardiovascular health, and set that intention ahead of time before you go into it. Number 3, super simple. It's just be present. Set other things aside. So during that time period, know that you're going to be able to set other things aside and just be present for you in that moment. Number 4, have a journal nearby. This can be like pen and paper. It can be a notes app on your phone, or like a recorder app. It can be any of those different things. Just make sure, again, you have it set up ahead of time, ready to go. Because what can happen is sometimes when you're meditating, you can get like messages from your source. You can get inspirations. You can get like stuff like coming into you, like maybe there's a problem you've been thinking about at work, or maybe there's, something, maybe one of your kids came to you and said, Mom, Dad, whatever, I have this problem, and maybe you kind of like weren't sure how to help them with that, and all of a sudden, boom, this inspiration comes in for you to be able to, maybe you have like that answer that you've been seeking. So you want to go ahead and write this, or record, type, whatever, into a journal. Or maybe something comes up that you need to work on. Maybe something comes up that maybe you had a situation happen or something, and you kind of felt icky about it, and you're just like, oh, well, whatever, I'll deal with it later. And then it comes into your meditation. You definitely want to write that or whatever down in your journal, record that in your journal, because then you can think about it later and you can work on it. So you can do some release techniques. I talk a lot about release techniques in other videos, but you can do different release techniques and stuff to be able to resolve this issue that's coming up for you and be able to like let it go. So keep the journal handy. That also tells your unconscious mind and your source, it says, hey, I appreciate that you brought this to my attention and I want more of it. Okay, so we've got all the setup, we're all prepared. Now for the fun part. How to actually begin your meditation. So there's like 6 main things that I'm going to walk you through, to like 6 points to kind of help you begin your meditation. Number 1 is to set a timer. I know that might seem simple or silly, and it's a good idea to set the timer for 10 minutes, and that way as you're meditating, you're not sort of thinking, ooh, has it been 10 minutes? Am I going to be late for my meeting? Maybe I should look. And then now you're looking at your watch or phone or whatever, and you're disrupted from the meditation. So just set a timer for 10 minutes, and if you get to the end of the 10 minutes, you're like, oh, this feels so good, and you don't have like a meeting or anything you need to get to, you have some extra time, you can always restart the timer. I often find myself doing that as well. Like I'll be in the middle of my meditation and my timer will go off, and I'm like, oh no, restart, and I'll continue the meditation. So, but yeah, just set a timer, and that way you can relax and you don't have to worry about it. Number 2, start by doing some deep breathing. So you want to get your nervous system nice and relaxed. What can happen sometimes is, especially if we're like having a busy day, maybe we just got through taking our kids to school and we're home now, and we've had a chaotic morning, or maybe we've kind of got into work and our boss is saying this, or our employees are saying this, or we're maybe excited about making a YouTube video, and so we have all these things going on, like all of these thoughts coming in. And one of the like most common, I don't know if you might say the word complaints or like issues with meditating, is people say like, oh, just all of these thoughts keep coming in and I can't get them to go away, and I don't think I'm doing this right, I'm not good at this, etc. So one of the things that you can do to even just like stop that right away, a lot of the times those thoughts are coming in because you're more just in the energy of go, go, go. So with deep breathing, it teaches your nervous system to relax. It teaches your body to relax. And the way I teach deep breathing, and in our school we teach this as well, is what's called ha breathing. So it's a ratio of 1 to 2, meaning your in-breath or your out-breath should be twice as long as your in-breath. So like if you were to breathe in for 1 second, you would breathe out for 2 seconds. Hopefully your breaths are longer than that. Maybe it's more like, you know, breathing in like 4 seconds and out 8 seconds, or, you know, something like that. But you just want to have like that 1 to 2 ratio. And what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in through your nose and then out through your breath. And when you're breathing out through your breath, you make like a sound. And like you're saying like HA, like a and so here, it sounds like this. So you breathe in. So even just doing that right now, I went from ooh, I'm doing this video, to like oh, I'm doing this video. It's just a very like chill and relaxed kind of state. So you'll do that for a little bit, just kind of as you feel your body start to relax, and then you can go into normal breathing. And as you get better and better at meditating, you'll notice you won't have to do as many ha breaths before you can feel relaxed and get into your meditation. Number 3, the fun part. Begin the technique that you have chosen. So during your preparation, you chose a specific meditation technique. So now you're going to begin that technique. And remember to stay, like if you're doing it with seed, remember to stay focused on whatever it is you decided to stay focused on. And if you get some random thoughts moving in, just observe them, allow them to pass, maybe thank them for being there. I go over this in a little bit more detail about on my main meditation video. But basically you're just going to say like, okay, thoughts, thank you, I acknowledge you, and let them go. And if you have a thought that keeps coming up, like the same thought, it just keeps coming up, then that's probably a thought that your unconscious mind wants you to pay attention to. So you can just be like, okay, thank you for, acknowledge it. Like, thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'm going to write it in my journal after my meditation. So you just kind of let the thought know, I'm going to pay attention to you, and right now is not the time. So you let it go, and then make sure and write it down in your journal later. Because again, it may be something that your unconscious mind really wants you to pay attention to. It might be something that it wants you to deal with, or something that it wants you to take action on. So just acknowledge it. And then as your timer goes off, you'll go into stage 4. So you'll just want to take some deep breaths to come out of the meditation. So sometimes when we first come to the meditation, we're in this space of just feeling all these kind of wonderful feelings, and maybe getting energized to go do our workout. Maybe we're about to go work out, or maybe maybe that's our intention, is to feel energized when we get done with the meditation, or maybe we're about to go into whatever it may be. But sometimes we can feel a little bit like out of our body, or kind of like disconnected from our body. So doing a couple of ha breaths to kind of come out of the meditation. You don't have to do a lot, maybe just like 3 or 4 ha breaths, and kind of start wiggling your fingers and wiggle your toes, and maybe shake your body out. But it's just to kind of help you come out of the meditation and get back into your body. Number 5 is optional. You may or may not need it, but I wanted to make sure to put it in there just in case, so you remember to have it on your mind. So number 5 is journal. So if you did get a message, or if you got an inspiration, or if you got one of those thoughts that kept coming in that maybe wanted your attention, or just some thought that even if it didn't keep coming in, because maybe it came in, you acknowledged it right away and it went out, but it was like a pretty big thought, then what you can do at this point in time is go ahead and write anything down in your journal, or record anything that you might want to be able to pay attention to later. And number 6 is mandatory. Thank yourself. Number 6 is thank yourself. And here's the thing. I have meditations on gratitude, and I can give you all kinds of research on gratitude. But here's the thing. you always want to be grateful to yourself. Thank yourself for taking that time for you. Because again, we can get caught up in all of these different things and we can think, no, I don't have this time for myself. I don't have this time for myself. I need to do all these other things. You are just as important and just as worth it as all of the other things you have going on in your life, all of the other people you have that you're interacting with in your life. You're just as important as those things. You're just as important as them. So please, at the end of every meditation, thank you for showing up for your practice. Thank yourself. Thank yourself for being there and taking that time just for you. Another part of that is, so your conscious mind is what sets the goals. So your conscious mind says, ooh, new me 2024, I'm going to start meditating. Your unconscious mind is what goes out and gets the goals. So if you are thankful, you're setting up that knowledge for your unconscious mind to be able to say, wow, she, he, whatever, like really wants this. This is something that she really wants. It's something that's important to her. So now your unconscious mind starts to align in ways that it makes it easier for you to get into that meditation practice. It makes it easier for you to be able to say like, okay, I have these things going on, and your unconscious mind is like, yes, and let's go meditate. So definitely be thankful for your meditation practice and thank yourself each and every time you meditate, and project that energy into that space and create that space of gratitude. That way every part of you, all of your bodies are in alignment, all of your selves, your conscious mind, your unconscious mind, your higher self, everything is in alignment with this practice, and you get all of those benefits we talked about at the beginning of the video. All right, well, that's how to have a successful meditation practice, how to meditate, all of the different types of meditation. And again, check out the meditation playlist if you want to be guided through any of the meditations. All right, well, as always, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and please, please, please choose love in all that you do. Mahalo. Aloha, I'm Sabrina with the I can't say this, and within you. There we go. Ronan. Shh. Kind of meditations to do and really take you through the process. Evie. No. Meditation playlist on my channel. And you might have already met her in other videos. This is she was kitten, Evie. So she's been growing up and getting bigger. And this is her. And this is the wonderful meows that you hear in the videos. And so I decided to torture her by bringing her over so you guys can meet her even more. And mostly so that she'll stop meowing, hopefully. I'm making a video. Anyway, and number 6. Both hands did the one. How about one hand do this? Okay, stop laughing. Oh, good times.